They won't see you coming in 2026, and that's the point. Because the first thing that makes you rich isn't money, it's silence. I learned early that noise is cheap. Everybody talks. Everybody posts. Everybody wants applause before they've earned a thing. But silence is where work gets done. Silence is where you build when nobody is clapping, when nobody believes, when your name doesn't carry weight in the room. I've been ignored. I've been passed over. I've been doubted to my face. And that pain, that quiet disrespect, it either breaks you or it sharpens you. Silence taught me discipline. It taught me how to listen to my own heartbeat when the world wasn't listening at all. When you stop explaining yourself, when you stop begging for validation, you save energy. And that energy, used daily, turns into power. There were nights when loneliness sat beside me like a shadow. No calls, no praise, just pressure. Pressure to quit. Pressure to prove myself to people who had already decided I wasn't enough. And that's where the second thing is born. Self-belief forged under weight. Not borrowed confidence, not hype. Real belief. Earned by showing up when it hurts. When you're tired, when you're scared, and still doing the work. I missed shots. I failed. I embarrassed myself. But every failure whispered a lesson. And every lesson built a spine that couldn't be bent by opinion. When nobody chooses you, you learn to choose yourself. When nobody invests in you, you invest in your habits. And habits repeated in silence compound into something nobody can take from you. I've learned that being overlooked is a gift wrapped in pain. When the spotlight isn't on you, you're free. Free to grow without pressure. Free to make mistakes without headlines. Free to become dangerous while they sleep. People laughed. People doubted. But doubt is fuel when you know who you are. The third thing hasn't even shown its face yet. But you can feel it coming when you stay consistent through the loneliness. You can feel it when days blur together and discipline becomes your identity. Rich isn't loud. Rich is prepared. Rich is walking into 2026 knowing you didn't cheat the process, knowing you endured when quitting would have been easier. That's where this journey begins. Pressure changes you if you let it. It either crushes you into excuses or compresses you into something unbreakable. I lived under pressure for years, the kind that doesn't scream but suffocates. Bills, expectations, comparisons. The constant feeling that time is running and you're still standing still. That weight taught me the second thing that makes you rich in 2026, discipline. That doesn't need motivation. Motivation is emotional. Discipline is loyal. Motivation shows up when things feel good. Discipline shows up when nothing does. When you wake up tired, when progress feels invisible, when your name still isn't being called. That's when discipline separates the dreamers from the builders. I trained my mind to respect routine more than mood. I learned that feelings lie, but habits tell the truth. There were mornings I didn't believe in myself, but my body moved anyway. There were days doubt was loud, but my actions were louder. And slowly, quietly, something changed. I wasn't chasing results anymore. I was becoming someone results follow. That's the loneliness nobody talks about. When you're disciplined, you're often alone. Because consistency is boring to people who want quick wins. You start missing parties, skipping comfort, choosing sleep over scrolling, choosing growth over approval. People think you're crazy. Let them. Crazy is temporary. Regret lasts forever. Being ignored teaches you patience. Being doubted teaches you control. I stopped arguing with people who couldn't see my vision. I stopped trying to be understood by minds that weren't ready. Silence became my strategy. While they questioned my pace, I trusted my direction. Every small action stacked. Every quiet sacrifice added weight to my character. You don't feel rich while you're building like this. You feel tired. You feel unseen. But what you're really doing is training your nervous system to stay calm under pressure. And that's wealth most people never develop. I learned that resilience isn't loud. It's waking up again after yesterday took everything out of you. It's doing the boring work with pride. It's saying no when nobody is watching, and yes when it's hard. Discipline doesn't give you instant rewards, but it gives you something better. Control. Control over your time. Control over your reactions. Control over your future. And when 2026 arrives, the people who laughed at your silence will wonder how you built so much without making noise. By the time 2026 arrives, the third thing that makes you rich will already live inside you. And most people won't recognize it until it's too late to copy. It's resilience shaped by endurance, not the kind that shows up once when the lights are on, but the kind that survives years of quiet pressure, rejection, and self-doubt without losing its edge. I earned mine in moments nobody applauded, in seasons where quitting felt logical and continuing felt lonely. Resilience is staying when the reward is uncertain, when progress is slow, when you're forced to sit with your own thoughts and still move forward. I learned that strength isn't about never breaking. It's about rebuilding faster every time you do. Life will test you. It will strip away confidence, patience, even faith in yourself. But every time you rise smarter. You rise calmer. You rise with less ego and more focus. That's when you stop chasing validation and start commanding respect without asking for it. You walk differently. You speak less. You see further. And suddenly, pressure doesn't scare you anymore. It feels familiar. It feels like home. There's a moment when loneliness stops hurting and starts sharpening you, when silence becomes clarity, when being ignored feels like protection instead of punishment. That's when you realize you were never behind. You were being prepared to handle success without losing yourself, prepared to carry responsibility without cracking, prepared to stay disciplined when temptation tries to pull you back into noise. Wealth in 2026 won't just belong to the loud or lucky. It will belong to the resilient, to the ones who built character before currency, to the ones who stayed consistent when nobody was watching. I don't speak from theory. I speak from scars, from missed chances that taught me precision, from failures that trained my patience, from nights where doubt was the only voice in the room and I had to outwork it. Self-belief, discipline, and resilience are not gifts. They're earned through endurance. And once you earn them, money becomes a side effect, not the goal. You stop chasing richness because you've already become rich in control, focus, and self-trust. So when they finally notice you, when your results speak louder than your past, don't explain yourself. Let your consistency answer for you. Let your calm intimidate doubt. Let your presence remind the world that the strongest people are forged in silence. And remember this, you didn't rise by chance. You rose because you refused to fold when it was hardest. That's real wealth.